Okay, so the game starts here with Wind Killer drawing their 2 cards, bringing them up to 5 in their hand. Now it's going to be their turn to play those cards down. Now, one of the key strategies in this game is to try and get down to 0 cards in your hand as soon as possible. Not normally possible in the first turn, but if you can do that, then instead of drawing 2 cards at the beginning of your turn, you get to draw 3 cards. And in this game, that's really key. Having more cards in play basically means more points because you do score 1 point for every card that you get down onto the table. So that's really going to be a key part of the game. So let's see how Windkiller does here in their first turn. They going to start putting down their 3 butterflies, and then the clover matching with the moose, and now they're out of cards. This is very rare, and probably the reason I lost this game. Getting down in your first turn, I've never seen it happen other than this game, so very rare, but it always helps when you get a clover and a 3 of a kind, so that makes it possible. So now it's going to be my turn to respond to that. So I'm going to draw 2 cards here. Okay, so I drew the blue off of the face up so I can use the blue set. Now, this was one of my first games. Well, it is my first game in the arena, and I hadn't played too many games outside the arena. So if I was doing this now, I probably would have drawn from the deck instead of taking the blue and then hope that I get a different card. Because if you have 5 cards in your hand, 5 or more, and they're all different colors and none of them are wild, you can activate what's called rainbow mode, which gets you an additional card. So I probably would have done that if I was playing this game with the knowledge that I have now, but I didn't. So I got my 2 blues. So now I've got 5 cards in my hand. So let's see how I play this. Okay, so I put down the 2 blues. Again, with my knowledge that I have now, I probably would have not put those 2 blues down. As long as you're at 5 cards or less, I don't generally play because you're just giving your opponent more cards to swap from you. If you get over 5 and then you get to 6, then you have to discard down to 5. So then I always play. But before that, I generally hold cards to get to 5 and then play once I get over. Again, to prevent my opponent from having so many swapping opportunities. So let's keep on going here. So now we can see the new face-up card is the orange bunny. Now, because they have no cards, they get to draw 3 cards again, which is key. So they chose to draw 3 cards, and then they did nothing, which is fair. They really couldn't do anything. In hindsight, they might have been able to swap the 2 moose, the moose clover, for the 2 blue cards, swap them, and then played down their blue card. But in this game, really, if you're not getting down to 0 cards, it really doesn't matter how many cards you have in your hand. Not a huge factor. So let's keep on going. So we get down our blue, and we play our 2 squirrels. So we use the 2-for-1 option here. So what that means is you can discard 2 cards and then pull back 1 either from the face up deck or from the face down deck. So we did that. So let's see what we get. We got an orange bunny. So it didn't help us. What we were trying to do here is get out so we can get the advantage of getting the extra card next turn, but didn't work out. So back to Windkiller. So they only draw 2 cards because they have cards in their hand. So this time now you can see they swap the blue for the pink, and they're proceeding to put down their 2 blue cards. Good move. So again, they could have swapped here the moose for the squirrels, but they decided not to. And really, it's not a huge deal if they, if they didn't miss out on much by not doing that. Okay, so we got our 2 bunnies down, and yeah, we have the swan, but nothing we can do with it at the moment. So they draw now. So they drew a moose, and in this game, if there's a clover available on the board on either side of the board, mine or theirs, and you have that card in your hand, you can swap it out and take the clover back, and then it becomes a fresh wild card in your hand. So always look to do that when you've got that situation. You're gonna put down their 2 red foxes. They're swapping for the squirrel. And then they put down their frog with the clover. Again, they're out. And you can see when you go out, it says up here, clear above your hand, just kind of denoting that you cleared out your hand. So they're going to get to draw 3 next turn, which again is a big deal. Okay, so here is the point of the match where I'm going to pause this, and I want you to tell me what you would do in this situation. It's a pretty simple one. There aren't a lot of, obviously, really difficult decisions here in this game, but so I'll give you a hint. You can go out. So you need to tell me what you would do with these 3 cards: moose, swan, swan. So what would you put down? What would you not put down? What would you swap? How would you make it work? remember that you can only swap the same number of cards. So 3 for 3, 2 for 2, whatever that may be. So go into the comments, write down what you would do, and we can discuss it and take a look and see. Again, pretty basic. It's not overly hard, but just take the 1 minute to do it. It would really help get engagement with you guys, and I'd really be encouraged to do that. So go ahead and do that now, and then we'll continue on. So now I got our 2 swans we put down. We swap them for the 2 moose, put down our moose, and we're clear. So how did you do? Did you say put down 2 swans, swap, and to put down the moose? If you did, great job. If you didn't, you can learn with me. I've only learned this game in the last little while, so there's yeah, you'll learn with me. So great job. Thanks for engaging. If you didn't get it this time, I'm going to have these in most of my videos going forward, so please go ahead and engage in those ones. Thank you very much. Let's move along. So I just want to stop here and do a bit of a scoring check. So you can see it's 12-10 now for Wind Killer versus me. So only 2-point differential. Nothing critical or scary about that yet. So when you get up to like the 5-point differential, then the game starts to be a little bit out of reach, but you know, anything can happen. If you can still string a couple good rounds together where you clear and they don't, things can change. So let's keep on going. So they drew squirrel and blue. So that's great. They can get rid of everything without doing any swapping or anything funny. So that's great. Now ours, we go frog, moose, bunny, and we take the bunny. So we're doing exactly what I said here. We're switching out the frog for the clover. Okay. So now before they take your turn, let's just take a look again. So score 15-13, no big deal. We look at the sets down. So they've got a set of 6 of the blue cards, then 5 squirrels. Then we got a set of 5 moose with the clover. So you're looking to get to sets of 7. Every time you get to a set of 7, you get a 7 card, and that is a +1 point. Then the first player to get 2 sets of 7 gets the double 7, which is worth 2 points, and also acts as the tiebreaker if you do end up tying score, which isn't common, but it's also not impossible. I think I've done it a handful of times on my road from bronze to elite. So let's keep the action going here. All right. So they're going to draw 3 cards because the hand was out. So they've got squirrel, moose, frog. Again, they grabbed the clover from the moose there, so that gives them lots of options. They should be able to get down a set of 7 here, which they did. So you can see they got the 7, and then up by where their name is, they got that +1 from point perspective. So now it's back to us. Again, we get to draw 3 cards. I'm not sure why we didn't take the red fox, but it didn't end up mattering because we got a bunny anyways that we can play. So we swap out, move the frog to our side, play on them, then put down the foxes. So we're doing okay here. 3-point differentials, not crazy, but certainly we need to be getting a set of 7 here quickly in order to stop the game from stopping. So this ends the game. So once the person gets a second set of 7, the other person gets 1 more turn, and then the game ends. So at this point, we're down 9 points, which is impossible to come back from at the end of the turn. So I'll just play it out here just for the heck of it, but there is no way you can come back from being that far behind in 1 turn. So, and that's it. That's the end of the game. So we see the final score, 25 for them, 18 for me. They've got 4 bonus points from their 7. So without that, it would have been 21-18, a little closer. So in this game, maybe I didn't focus on getting 7s enough. Maybe I focused too much on going out. So it is a bit of a balancing act. But great first game. I mean, I learned a lot when I know when I originally played this game. I learned a lot about it from this game, just looking at the back and forth and you know, the trade-off of getting out first versus getting 7. So good game all around. My opponent played really well, and it was a good warm-up match for bronze. So that's the end of this one. I will once I post this up, I'll start working on the 2nd and 3rd videos, so please come back and take a look at those. And thank you for your for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe so you get notified when I post new videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.